The B team, we're back. Almost episode 100, by the way.
Almost there. How many more we got? 7?
This is 93.
Mm-hmm.
7.
Yeah. So,
At the end of this week, we'll have 6.
Yes, indeed. Good math.
Quick maths.
Good math right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
We're
That's
here.
the best subject.
And what? Yeah, it was it.
Mhm.
I was English.
I could not do English for my life. Actually, do you remember in middle school who was the teacher? She was brunette hair, taught English.
What grade?
7.
Miss Getz? Miss
No.
Walsey?
No. 7th.
7th.
7.
Not Dr.
I feel like it
Draper,
started with
no.
an H.
Hess?
No,
Voorhees?
he's a guy. Hess
Yeah,
is a guy.
I know.
Regardless, I took a commas test like 4 times before I passed it. Commas.
Commas? I would say
I feel like commas are something you can use as many commas as you want. You can't go wrong with more commas.
it's just a little abbreviated period. It's just a little pause, but you're continuing a run-on sentence. That's it.
What happens if I talk like Stephen Hawking and I pause after every word? So every time Stephen Hawking talks, he has a comma at the end of every word. Why can't I do it?
I think it should be hyphenated, if anything, if he's speaking the way he speaks.
So it's like
It shouldn't be a comma because
I
it wouldn't.
want
Hyphen,
to eat.
hyphen,
Those are
hyphen.
periods.
Or periods, or all caps, period.
What if you put a double comma? We should incorporate double commas more often.
If anything, it should be a semicolon.
Nah, see, like semicolons are only good for smiley faces, I feel like.
Winky
I feel like-
faces.
Winky faces. Yeah, no, I was bad at English.
I would say it was English. It's funny throughout the years because it was always English and science. Those are my main.
Okay.
And then math was a little. I was pretty good at math, but just not like calculus and all that. I just
Okay.
like fuck that, I ain't doing it. But over the years, I feel like I've gotten better with math, and it's like probably one of my more favorite subjects now.
Gotcha.
And like science is kind of like out the door. I'm like, yep, that's
My-
over.
My best classes were always math and gym.
I think everyone's was gym, but like the SATs was all English and math based, and the math section I was like not sure how I did, but the ACT was like all science, and I crushed it. I honestly think that's what got me into Westchester was the ACT.
It's very
I had a
good.
very good score on that.
It's impressive, actually. I never took it.
Did Adam Peters take his SAT yet?
No, he hasn't.
What's
I'll
probably
get-
March.
Yeah, it would have to be in March.
Mhm.
I hope he's studying. I think Visby actually bought him a study book.
He's probably so pissed.
We tried to put like a score he had to hit. Like if he didn't get it, he would have to keep taking it until he got it. You know, like
No, he would
how
never.
schools would be like, oh, if you get up into this category, this score, now you can get $1,000 more. Like Adam, it was all right. If you do decent, you still didn't pass, so you got to go get more until you can be back in the league. We should new punishment for the Dynasty League. You have to get an SAT score of a certain number to get entry back in if you lose. Otherwise, we replace you. So if you don't get it by the end of the season, and like if you know your team's gonna be bad, you could start in the winter. You could start during the season to start taking it, have that score ready. Going into the next year, you have to have a score of a certain number.
You gotta enlist in the Navy SEALs and go do buds.
Oh my god.
But it's a choice though. Like with our league, you have to choose a certain
It's a multiple choice.
punishment that you want.
It is a multiple choice. I think that's very good of us.
I feel like with our punishments that we have, I want to do something quick. Like I thought about like getting choked unconscious.
That
as
was
like
a dumb
such
one.
a quick. I don't think it's that dumb.
No.
As long as there is a professional doctor or medical professional that is close and nearby, I would actually consider it.
What I'll say is it's not as crazy as it sounds.
It's not. No, I don't think it is either.
In jiu-jitsu gyms, it happens all the time.
But
You wake
that's
up like
jiu-jitsu. We're going out into a cornfield and having this man choked.
Whoa. That wasn't, no, the setting was anywhere.
Yeah,
It was not a
I
decided
would have.
setting.
I would have voted for.
we could have a nice pillow on the ground for
No.
him. It's
I want a cornfield.
We could do it right here.
Middle of the cornfield.
Like why?
and then
that's
just leave
why
him.
I think the SAT is one of the worst punishments because you have to sit there for 4 hours and take a test,
Wait.
especially if you have to meet a quota, like
Yeah,
a
that'd
certain
be
score.
crazy. He doesn't have to. He just has to take it.
Like, dude, he could just go A the whole time. Like, honestly, like, I feel like if you do a fantasy punishment with the SAT, you have to hit a score.
But the thing about the SAT is, yeah, he can just go A, and go all the way down. He still has to sit there in the class for the whole thing. So even if he does
So he
the
can't
whole,
leave.
he can't leave.
Yeah, you're right.
And we're making him take the writing part as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I feel, why is it always AP though?
I don't know.
Ends up
I
in
was
last.
just about to say, because he has to do this one, and he's supposed to get shot up by us at a paintball place.
He does.
That still hasn't happened.
I
So if imagine he goes and takes the SAT, and we make him go to the paintball place immediately after and get lit up.
I don't think it's that bad. Like, I really don't.
It's not
I-
back to back.
Well, yeah, back to back, that would suck.
It's a
for
long.
sure.
That's a long day.
Like-
Or, we should plan to do the paintball before he takes the SAT.
And he has to go covered in paint.
Yeah. So he's covered in paint. He's got welts on his body.
He has to go in the deer costume
deer
to the
costume.
SAT.
Do they let him in? Would they
No.
even let him in?
No shot.
I
That'd be
mean,
funny if they did.
I don't think they can discriminate.
That's true. If he identifies as a deer in this day and age, you have to let him in.
Yeah, I guess so.
Not to go Joe Rogan on this thing, but
That's true. That poor kid, man. Like,
Tough.
like how many
Tough.
more can you deal with until you're like finished with fantasy football?
There's a part of me that wants to enter a ton of leagues and just only have a few with punishments, but have Adam in every league and hope he loses in at least one.
This has to be his like third punishment now, because I know for a fact he came in last in another league. I think last year or 2 years ago, but I don't know. Like I can't so when I first started off my fantasy football journey, the first year or two, oh my God, I came in last. Like I was awful. I didn't know football players like that. But after that, like there was one trade I made with Greg. Shout out to you, Greg.
Right?
I was high as a kite, bro. And like I was not in the playoffs. I was gone. Like there was no shot. And he trade raped me for Christian McCaffrey at the time. And I was like, yeah, dude, I mean, the league's over. I mean, my season's over here. Take him for, I don't know, Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis wasn't active around that time, but yeah, people were pissed. And then after that moment, I went on a rampage in fantasy. And I think I've only come in last one time after that.
You have been very, very good as of late. I'll give you that. You've been very good.
Yeah. I mean, I think fantasy is just as important to fans as it is the NFL season, like as an NFL fan, if that makes sense. Like, I think you have more people tuning into fantasy that don't even care about a team or have a team that they like, but just watch because of how their fantasy teams, like how they look at their players and how they perform and whatnot. I mean, they've done a great job. Like, I think fantasy football is essential.
It is.
You need that. You need something like that to just pass the time.
Our nation's built on football and fantasy football.
And college football, SEC football.
Yeah.
And baseball.
And McDonald's.
And McDonald's.
Dunkin'.
Yeah, Dunkin'.
America
Starbucks.
runs on Dunkin'.
Starbucks.
Is America built on Starbucks though?
Yeah.
Or is there
For
a
sure.
certain?
For sure.
Yeah.
But is there a certain area that's built on Starbucks?
The globe. The whole globe.
What do
is
you
built
get
on
when you go to Starbucks?
I always go for shaken espresso. Give me
so
the
you
damn
actually get
espresso.
something. Okay.
I do.
was
No,
not
I do.
expecting you to have something.
No, for sure. I always go like some type of flavor, like a hazelnut espresso, shaken. Like espresso for me, because when I worked at Pacer, they had a Starbucks and a Chick-fil-A there.
Yeah.
And like if I was like really down bad, a shaken espresso, I'd be like,
Dude,
shaken. Love
Starbucks knows what they're doing because they're in every Target.
oh
They're-
yeah,
They're the only company like that, like in that realm, that's in a specific area and knows exactly what they're doing. They're in Target for one reason. That's because every girl loves Target. Every time you go to Target now, you have to get a drink.
yeah.
You have to walk around with your Stanley.
Mhm.
Walk around every time.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
So Alexa, when she's like, "Oh, I gotta like run errands or I gotta do things," is the first thing on her errand list get a coffee at Starbucks? Because I feel like every girl
She
in
likes
the
her
world that
Starbucks.
has to do things and run errands, they're going to Target they're going to Starbucks or Target, vice versa.
I'll put it this way. So her work is moving locations. and it just so happens to be moving straight across the street from a Target. And when I asked her about the location, all she could tell me was there's a Target across the street. Not where it was.
Mm,
Not the location of the place. Just there's a Target across the street. I know that.
unbelievable. They love it.
They love it.
They love it. And
Can't blame them.
having the Starbucks in the Target is just like another reason why it just brings in all of those people that just can't get away from it.
And I was at Target today actually for work, and I was getting containers, like those plastic containers. And I've never experienced this before. Like, for anyone someone's had to have gone through this. I find the container, right? The tops aren't with the container. They're just scattered everywhere. So you got to go find the top that goes with your container, but it could be 3 shelves down. You don't know. And you're just testing them. I have to get 3 containers. I'm trying to get them to be the same so I don't look like an idiot when I go back to work. It took me 45 minutes. 45 minutes.
Which Target?
Up by East Stroudsburg.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, dude, it's a rampage there.
It is.
They especially when it comes to like appliances, like kitchen appliances or any type of like Tupperware. Oh my God, yeah, it's gonna be scattered all over the place. But shame on them, by the way, because if you're taking off the lids for some unknown reason and then scattering it down 3 shelves down.
Actually, now I'm thinking about it. You shouldn't put the lids on because that would be way too much space used. Because you gotta stack them and then put them. But if you take a lid off, like put it back.
Yeah, of course. I mean, even just like in a mall setting itself, like you find, you get a pair of jeans. Okay, I went to the mall the other day to get some jeans.
Nice.
And I find my size, I go to the dressing room, get dressed. I have all these other pairs with me. Like, at least just put them back where you found them. It doesn't have to be like, so it goes from like smaller sizes to bigger sizes. Like, it doesn't have to be back in like the middle of the pack. Like, okay, yeah, just put it right on top. Like, that's fine. Like, don't put it somewhere where now you're in Calvin Klein and you're putting a pair of jeans over there because you're lazy. Like, come on, have a little decency, in my opinion.
I always feel bad when I take a shirt off of like at Golf Galaxy, they got the polos and the t-shirts right there, but they're folded a certain way. And when you take them off, have you ever realized that you can never, ever, no one in the world is able to fold them the exact way that the workers there.
100%.
The workers themselves, when they go home, I guarantee they can't do it.
Mm. I think that's how they fold from now on.
You think?
Yeah, I think they've adapted to that, and that's how they now fold their own clothes.
I'm going to do that next time at Golf Galaxy. I'm going to take a shirt, walk it up to their front and be like, I don't want this, but can you fold this?
And just see how they do it.
I want to see if you know how to fold it. Just see if they fold it the same way. And if they don't, then I'm correct that they have a robot in the back.
So you
run the store.
So you fold it. So okay, when that happens, you fold it your way, how you know how to fold it, and then you put it back on the.
I try and make it look as close as I can to that. It's like when you.
I don't at all. I fold them the way I do, and I just put it right on top. And I don't think that's a bad thing.
What if you're one of those people that, like, when you go to fold stuff, you roll it up and put it in your drawer? So you're rolling that thing up and you're going to put it back? That would be a crazy move.
Okay, hold on a minute. Wait.
You never seen that when people pack, like, luggage?
Well, yeah.
But there's people that will roll their stuff up like that and put it in their drawers.
Why?
I don't know.
Is it because of the wrinkle-free way? Because I think
there's
that's
no way that's wrinkle-free.
I mean, maybe, but oh my God, who would do that?
That's crazy.
Like, if you're in Target and you just roll something up and you just like lay it on top of it, I would pick it up and be like, who the would do this?
Next video.
Just go into Target and just start rolling up, t-shirts. But jeans, it's easy though. You just got to find the seam and just fold from there. That's simple.
Yeah.
Now,
also, shout out to Girl Scouts. These cookies are fantastic.
Yo, have you ever tried?
You want one?
No.
Okay.
Nah, throw it.
You want one?
Throw it.
I got one more.
That was a good catch, though.
Here we go.
Oh! All right, ready?
Oh, shit.
Yo, wait. Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Can we rank the top 3 Girl Scout cookie flavors? Because I have a whole list right now that I could go through.
Yeah. Did they change the names to any? Did they have?
Maybe.
I'm gonna look them up.
Because I found a new flavor, and I think it's my number 1.
We're having another one of those shows right now.
What do you mean?
Where we just forget why we're here.
You know what? It's okay.
That's fine though.
It's all right. this is why we're here.
Cookies.
Because people need to listen to this.
Cookies.
Okay, we're back. Had some technical difficulties.
But we're back.
Give me your top 3.
Top 3. All
Top
right.
3 Girl Scout cookie flavors.
We're going with some Delights, a.k.a. Samoas. Those ones I feel like are on everyone's list.
They have to be. Absolutely, they got to be.
I'm going to go with the Thin Mints. Childhood staple right there. I feel like people don't like them as much, but...
Not me. It's an acquired taste. It's kind of like mint chocolate chip ice cream. You either like it or you don't.
Yeah, now,
I'm
see,
in the don't category.
here's where I'm kind of torn 50-50. Do-si-dos or peanut butter patties, a.k.a. tagalongs. I'm more of a tagalong guy, but the do-si-do is always a good option. They're kind of the same cookie, just one's a sandwich. What?
What is the do-si-do?
It's just a peanut butter sandwich, essentially. So, but the peanut butter patty is more of a Reese's. So, I would go with that. Anyone that gets a lemonade is like,
No.
You hate your kids.
I'm anti like lemon cake, lemon cookies. I do not screw with them whatsoever.
That's a bad take.
You really like them?
Anything made with lemon, give me it.
You see, I'm like, I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I don't know what it is that it just doesn't please the palate.
You ever have
say.
a lemon ricotta cookie?
Yeah, I've had those.
Amazing.
Yeah, the lemon for me. I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it, but I would say my top 3. There's a new one, and it's a French toast.
I was just looking at that.
It is
Toastier.
phenomenal. That
It's
would
called
have
a Toastier.
So that would be my number 1.
Okay.
Caramel Delights was number 1.
Yep.
Samoa's now number 2, and peanut butter patty. Simple.
Yep.
Dude,
A tag along.
the French toast one
Is it fire?
it's good.
It looks really good.
It tastes
It's really
like
good.
French
Oh,
toast
it
in the
has
morning.
icing on the bottom?
Yeah, it's
Oh my god.
it's him. It's Himothy.
Wow.
Himothy.
They've really I feel like they've stepped it up in a couple areas, but they've also stepped it back. Like it's when I'm looking at this, it's like all right, we're going to have 4 or 5 really really good ones, but then the other ones are just going to be so bad. They should get rid of some of these. Like this, I need to try the s'mores. I need to try the French toast.
Yeah, the s'mores sound good. The French toast is banging.
The toffee tastics, I can't imagine are very good.
If you're a toffee guy, you might like it.
I guess.
Fuck. I was gonna say
I don't know.
there was another ranking in my head, and now I can't think. I just had it in my head. Now I can't think of it.
Those ones with the chocolate on the bottom, and it's like a shortbread on top. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-mm.
Are they Girl Scout cookies?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not seeing them.
They don't have those anymore.
I think they're
They
gone.
used to say like something else on every cookie.
Oh, is it this? I think they switched that to the Lemon Up. Crisp lemon cookies baked with inspiring messages. It's probably the new one. It says, I'm a leader on it. Well, I'm going to be a leader and let all of you know that's a bad cookie.
I'm gonna lead the people to diabetes.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm a leader.
You know what I
Okay.
was a fan of back in high school when we had those little fundraisers with the Gertrude Hawk bars.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't get the caramel with the milk chocolate with the caramel, I mean, I don't know what you're doing then.
Yeah.
Those are the best ones, hands down. Like the sea salt caramel,
Dude, the raspberry though.
the raspberry
Mhm.
dark chocolate, hard number 2.
Mhm.
I agree. Are you guys fans of? Do you like dark chocolate?
Big dark chocolate guy.
Me too.
It's healthier.
It's kind of good
It is.
for you actually.
It is.
Mhm.
They say dark chocolate and a glass of wine.
Yeah, my Italian brother, Andrea, he one day comes home from Wegmans, and he's from Rome, and he has this big chocolate bar, big dark chocolate bar, and just keeps it in the fridge. It was in there for like weeks, and he would have one piece every day, one little piece of it. That thing would be gone if it was me. Chocolate's not for health. Chocolate's for indulging.
I agree.
Anyone who's buying a chocolate bar for health needs to rethink chocolate.
Yeah, I was.
That's not what Willy Wonka came here for.
I'm a big Twix guy. I think
Thank
Twix
you.
is like top tier.
That was my pregame meal for a while there in middle school and high school.
There you go. He does have a pregame meal:
Twi-
spaghetti and Twix.
No, it was Twix. It was literally just Twix and an Arnold Palmer, but like the 32 ounce
Oh yeah,
big one, 99 cents. That's now $1.29.
those are iconic, man.
Mm-hmm.
The Arizona iced tea, get them for 99 cents.
Speaking of,
Oh yeah, yo, you
I was
gonna do
say,
it?
I forgot.
You gonna
about
do
this.
it? Do
Should-
it.
should I
Do it.
try?
Do it. No. Yeah, actually do
I
it.
don't
Here,
have my
where are my
keys?
keys? I got it.
Keys. Here you go.
I got them.
Make sure it's all good there.
You want me to
yeah,
do
yeah,
it?
Punch it.
So he's gonna have the guy with one arm, but he's gonna shotgun this Arnold Palmer.
All right, I'm gonna put this over here.
I love how he gives it to the alcoholic of the group. Like, here, you know how to do this. He looks like you've drank a lot.
Probably not something you want to put on the air, but that's all right.
Just kidding. Not an alcoholic, but I do like to drink. This might go everywhere. I don't know.
Are we good at the bottom there?
Should be.
I don't want it pouring out the top. You know what I mean? Pointing it right at me. Will this work?
And then from there,
Is this gonna work?
if you want to get a bigger hole, I'll leave you to that.
That's what she said.
That's why I said I'll leave you to that.
Oh fuck.
Oh, you got to tilt it. So tilt it to
Yeah.
your left.
Where's the thing? All right, I got.
You see, that was good.
King.
I feel like at the end you should have turn it upside down. See, did any spill?
Doesn't look like it.
There you go. Nice
Doesn't
job.
look like it.
Do you have to let out a burp? Let it go.
Chalked it down.
Chalked it down. Impressive.
Yep. We don't spit here.
I think shotgunning is the best method.
That was a dumb idea right there.
No, I don't think it was a stupid
No,
idea.
wipe it with my sleeve.
That is what it is.
Yep.
But I think it's one of the best methods of just consuming a beer quickly
Yep.
and
It's
effectively.
the most refreshing.
I used to like beer bongs. I think those were, you just had to be ready for it. I
Yeah.
don't know, because if not, it looks like a
It looks like a lot.
it looks like a
Looks like a
disgusting
lot.
porno, and you don't want to be on the other side of it.
All right. It's fair.
Should we get into?
Do you want to get into football?
I don't know, man.
That seems like a good
I don't know
segue
if
to
I want to
football.
get into football. I don't know.
I don't know either.
We're kind of just winging it today. It's one of these episodes, it's seeming like. So,
All right.
no, let's get into football.
All right. Yeah. What do you want to get into first? We got coaches. We got Lamar. We got the Jets. What do you want to talk about first, Mike?
I'll talk Lamar. Let's talk Lamar.
Let's talk Lamar.
I know that you wanted to really
Yep.
touch on him with his stats and whatnot. I'll let you kind of.
Yeah, and so
Hold the
these
floor,
are
man.
all with one less game played. So like the thing with Lamar is every year I feel like we come into this thing, and I know he won MVP and stuff, and like, he's a very good quarterback. I'm not taking away from that. I also think the guy I'm going to compare him to is a very good quarterback, but a lot of people think that he sucks.
Dak.
Yeah.
I knew it.
So Lamar's 2-4, Dak's 2-5. The rest of these, just think about it. Really give it a good breath. Lamar, 57% completion, 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 220 yards per game, 26 sacks.
Wow.
Dak, 64% with 1 more game played. 14 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 280 yards per game, 15 sacks. He's only played 1 more game. He's got 14 more touchdowns.
I actually can't believe that he's played in 7 playoff
7.
games. Lamar 7.
Oh, no, Lamar's played in 6.
He's played in 6.
Dak's played in 7.
Really, dude? I thought he's
Yeah.
like, but he's only had 3 playoff appearances.
4.
He's had 4 playoff appearances now.
4.
Okay, continue. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's just it just makes me laugh because Lamar, yeah, he got a little heat, but everyone still is like, they'll make excuses for him, I feel like. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll say, "Oh, he had to play the Chiefs." Oh, like his wide receiver fumbled the ball on the 1. Like at the end of the day, the stats are the stats.
So I feel like this
He's not
is-
putting up the numbers to win.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying Dak is either, but at least Dak is putting up stats that could lead the wins. Like when you look at Dak's stats, the defense probably let him down at times, like they did this last game. Lamar, the defense actually didn't play terrible. They got stops. Lamar's passing game was god awful. It honestly made me feel like the NFL was rigged watching it. The way that he couldn't complete anything and everything kept getting batted down or thrown right at a defender or thrown behind a wide receiver. Like Lamar's way too good to be doing that over and over and over again. You know what I mean?
I think that game, and this might sound like I'm making an excuse for Lamar, was a huge outlier in my opinion. I think,
But that's what I mean. Like, that's why I feel like the best players in the world don't do that. Like, yeah, it might happen on 1 or 2 drives in a game, but for it to happen 5, 6, 7 drives of a game where you see the same like mess ups, it just didn't make sense to me.
I think I blame a lot of that game on Todd Monken. I think the way he called that game was just not ideal for their position. Like, I don't know how you play. Okay, you play the Houston Texans. You don't run the ball at all for the first half, and we said this last week. And then second half, you made the adjustment. You actually started like running the ball and using Justice Hill, Gus Edwards, Lamar, a good offensive line, which they're known for.
Yep.
And they didn't do that against the Chiefs. I mean, I feel like every drive was, let's have Lamar drop back and let's have him make a play. And you know what? Kansas City was ready for it. I just think, could they have done more on the ground? Yes. Could Lamar have maybe played a little bit better? Yes. But I think that game was more of a team aspect. Like Zay Flowers fumbling into the end zone. Like that, he scores that. It's a 17-14 game?
Well, let's
whole
go.
different story.
Yeah, and if he doesn't taunt,
Doesn't
bring it
taunt,
back
the
15
same
yards,
thing.
which they should be allowed to taunt.
But again, like this is what, and this was a wrong take, but like I think people were exaggerating how good how stacked this roster was. Like I didn't think it was that like offensively. I mean, they have a running back committee. I mean, like the running backs are okay. I mean, J.K. Dobbins is probably, I don't think he's injured. It doesn't matter. But like Gus is all right. Like they're not like above average running backs. Like you throw any running back in that system, they're going to be good. But your wide receiver one is Zay Flowers. He's a rookie. He's going to be good in the future. It's going to take him a little bit, but we know the sky's the limit for him. Odell, he's been in the league for a while. Like hasn't been at that same level of play since the Giants days, something like that. Isaiah Likely's finally starting to be that tight end. Like he's looking at Mark Andrews' job right now, and like that's it. Like Aguilar, like I feel like their core was overachieving, and I think a lot of people were falling into that trap. And like I'm not trying to hate on the Ravens with this, but I don't know, man. Like they were just a very average, like wide receiver group at like average in positional groups. But you had Lamar, who was so great that it just caught up to them at the wrong time. And I think it's funny because we can say the same for Josh Allen. I feel like because he's now lost to the Chiefs multiple times. Go ahead.
Just want to throw this one out there. Just came across my desk. Gardner Minshew is a Pro Bowler.
Let's go.
That's
Deserves
big.
it. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yes,
Shout
it
out to Shane Steichen, making Gardner Minshew a Pro Bowler. Pretty cool.
I give him credit. I think he really another overachieving team, even though they lost to the Texans in that win and end game, but they weren't supposed to be there. Everyone was counting out the Colts. I think all of us were. But they get AR back, and Shane Steichen's going to get them guys going. Michael Pittman, I don't see them letting him go. They can't. They can't let him go. But he's going to demand a lot of money. So
he deserves it, though.
Absolutely.
Deserves it.
Like his whole career, his first year, like I feel like his last two have just been extraordinary as like that go-to guy. You don't really see that like much. Like
you don't see a guy like that put his body on the line the way he does.
Yeah. And like I feel like with wide receiver ones, most of them in the league, they'll have those games. Like look at Diggs where I'll just go for like fantasy points here. 4 points, 6 points, 8 points. Like Michael Pittman was consistent throughout the whole year between his targets, his receptions. I think it's a no-brainer. You can't let that guy go. That's like the heart of your receiving core. Now you got Josh Downs there. You're bringing someone else. Like that's a team I feel like just needs that tight end, like a Dalton Kincaid, like someone who's young and can just demand targets. They'd be tough, very, very tough team to play, and they would compete for that AFC South division every single year. They always do anyways, but
they almost had it this year.
If they can find a way to get better on offense with their receiver group, because I don't think Alec Pierce is the guy. I think he's a really good blocking receiver, and he's good on the deep ball, but he's not consistent, and you want consistency in your wide receiver too. They just got to get one more. Like Mike Evans, I think would be perfect for that team. I mean, he'd be perfect for a lot of teams, but they got to be aggressive with getting one of these guys.
Yep. I agree.
But any last thoughts on Lamar? Because
No, I think that
the hate that Dak gets, Lamar should be getting is what your point is.
like people got like if you want these stars to be stars, give them the hate that you give to the guys that actually have a star on their helmet.
I was gonna
It
say
just
that.
it doesn't make sense to me because give it one more year, he'll probably lose to the Chiefs again. He could lose to the Bengals. Like Joe Burrow's going to be back.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he's just done. Joe Burrow's coming back. And honestly, the way this Ravens team looks right now, the Bengals are winning that game. Bengals are going to win that game, straight up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and you know what? That's a really good point because I didn't. You said this is his 4th playoff appearance now in 4 years.
Fourth.
I didn't think. I thought it was 3.
Yeah.
And like I thought that was a smaller sample size. Where like, okay, like it's his 3rd playoff appearance. His first one was against Phillip Rivers. His second one was probably he lost to I think Mahomes or something.
Yeah.
Like okay, like let him develop, let him get more time. But I still think Lamar is that guy. But like right now, if he's going to keep losing playoff games like these, he might turn into your quarterback,
I
and
think
that's
he
where
already-
he starts getting the criticism. You think people are now
He should
budging
already
on him.
have that. He should already have that because he's an MVP. MVP. His 2 wins came the last 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
but he hasn't gotten to the conference championship, I don't think. Has he? He hasn't.
No, I don't think so.
So how can he be he's the same as Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott can't get to a championship. Lamar can't get to a championship.
Mhm.
They're both guys that everyone's like, oh, MVP, MVP.
But Josh Allen too, like
Josh Allen, throw him in the category.
Yeah,
These
it's
are
like-
all guys that are good quarterbacks, but they aren't great.
But this is the thing though, like they can't afford to just move on a guy like that so quickly unless they know, like the Chiefs did when they had Alex Smith and Mahomes was on the bench. Remember when Nietzsche, Gassy, you probably know this, when Nietzsche was like, "Yo, like this guy's going to be the next big thing." Like he was stern on it, like 100%. Like Mahomes is going to be the next big thing. It's his first year. Like if you know you can move on to a guy like Mahomes and you know 100% that he's going to lead this team and he's going to be a stud. I mean, that doesn't happen a lot. Like,
No.
and that's why they won't move off of these guys. That's probably why the Cowboys won't move off.
And
of
I'm
Dak,
not saying
you know what
that
I mean?
we should move off of these guys.
No, of course.
I'm just saying that these are guys that probably need more
More scrutiny.
More scrutiny based on their performances in the playoffs. But also, they probably are the same guys that need 1 or 2 weapons, more weapons than what they have right now to get them over the hump and get you that Super Bowl. They're not Mahomes where they can just go out there with Joe Schmo from Northampton Area Community College and win you a championship. Like him and Brady are the only ones that could do that.
Yeah, it's
Throw Aaron Rodgers in the mix. Aaron Rodgers is probably another guy that can go out there with someone from Lackawanna Community College and win you a championship. Speaking of what? Never mind.
You wanna?
No,
Is it time?
No. Oh yeah, we can get into it.
Okay.
We can get into it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So,
But I get what you're coming from, though. Last thing, I get what you're coming from, but I think the scrutiny may be deserved.
Josh Allen gets it now.
Josh Allen gets it. I think
Dak
Lamar
gets it.
and Lamar should
Lamar-
definitely get it for sure.
Yeah. You could argue that Josh Allen's been better in the playoffs than Lamar. There.
Yeah, I'd say so.
No.
Yeah.
No,
And Josh
I
Allen
agree.
gets more hate than Lamar.
Has
I'm sorry, but has Josh Allen won an MVP?
he? No. I
No.
don't think so.
Exactly. If Lamar's an MVP quarterback,
That just goes to show the greatness of Patrick Mahomes and the Chief dynasty.
Yes.
This is what all AFC teams are
Bro,
going to have to
they're-
deal with now.
they're gonna win.
Every AFC team is going to have to deal with this.
They're gonna win 10 championships with him.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a ring on every finger.
They're
Every
going to
finger.
get better every single year.
He's gonna
Until
be wearing
Travis
rings
Kelce
on his
retires.
toes, Mike.
Yeah. This is what we had to deal with. This is what the Steelers had to deal with. This is what who else? What AFC team was always like good in the Brady era, but like could never beat him? The Steelers,
Colts.
the Colts, the Ravens. Like this is what they got to deal with now, man. Like
The Jets those couple of years with Mark Sanchez.
Yep. And it's funny. We'll get into the AFC West, but that's going to be a bloodbath, especially with those
It's gonna be awesome.
that head coaching carousel out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a fun division.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, yeah, let's talk Jets. What do you got? You want to hold the floor here because
I can give you some avenues to go down
Sure.
a little bit here. We haven't talked about the Jets in a good minute. I mean, we've jokingly said stuff about Zach Wilson Aaron Rodgers, all that stuff, you know. But we haven't actually spoken about them probably since week 14, like had an actual conversation. So the Jets have been dead on this show for quite some time. Can Saleh withstand the next season?
Just
Like, if they come out, they're in a tough division. If they come out, and let's say they come in second, but they go out of the playoffs immediately,
no, he's done.
he's done.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's done.
Mm-hmm.
In what scenario? In what scenario without a championship does he stay?
That he has to make the championship. He has to make either the AFC championship or the Super Bowl. I think that's the only way he stays. I really do, because I mean, we can give every excuse out in the book for him, for Joe Douglas, but again, the league is shifting.
Mm-hmm.
The league is moving towards offensive coaches. I don't think he stays. He's one of those guys I think is a leader of men, but if there is no change being made, then why would we keep him? And we saw that this year. There wasn't much change. It was, let's go to Tim Boyle. Okay, if you really want to call that a big change.
So do you think that not necessarily
do I think
a player
he's sustainable?
personnel? Okay,
Is that your question?
Sure. I mean, he's like a Dan Campbell, but in that sense then, so you don't think it's a player personnel thing. You think that you need to go get an offensive mind to come in and take over basically for Saleh.
I mean, it's tough, dude, because like I feel like we're always in this conversation when we talk about the Steelers and like the Lions, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have these guys, like I feel like we all incorporate offense, defense, leadership into the head coach. Like I don't think that's the case though. Like Mike Tomlin, that's a leader of men. Whoever the hell his OC is right now, like that's their job. Jeff Ulbrich, like that's the Jets DC. That's his job. He's calling all those plays, and he's been excellent, I think. But I think when it comes to game management and being smart with the press and also making a decision for the best for your team that you know needs to happen. Like Mike White, it's not on him, but like Mike White was a guy that they should have brought back. And I think Woody had a say. Like he's kind of like, I look at him now as the next scapegoat. Like I just see him. I don't see him lasting, man. Especially if this Rodgers thing doesn't work out, which it's really not out of it's a possibility. He's going to be gone.
Yeah, I mean,
no
you guys
doubt.
wasted a season already.
Exactly.
You've
Like,
wasted a
this was the
season.
risk that we took, though, and like I got bashed for it. It's like this is what the risk was. How long are we gonna have? If we're gonna have him for 1 year, thank God it was more than 2, because I thought it was gonna be 1, max 2 years. He stays for 4, then it's like, okay, we took a swing and I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
But this happens every freaking year.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson almost avoided.
Gas.
No, it's okay, but avoided that injury in the preseason. Sam Darnold, the ankle injury. It always happens every year. So
How many years does Saleh have?
left on his contract. I think this is.
Well, I don't know about the contract, but he stays as long as Aaron Rodgers is there. We gave our franchise to Aaron Rodgers. He's calling the shots now.
Okay, now that's
he's
but that's
there?
where my question is,
Aaron
because
says, I want Saleh. If you want me to be your quarterback, I want Robert Saleh as my coach. You can't fire him. That's why Nate Hackett isn't getting fired after last season.
and that's fair.
I think you have to let the Rodgers and Saleh era play out. Like this year, we didn't even get to see it.
But that's
People
what
are talking about this year, like we had the first year of this experiment. Like it didn't even happen.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. So, like, if you guys didn't make it to the championship game, even if you win one playoff game this year, you win one playoff game but don't make the championship, is that enough for you to say he's out of here?
It's
Because
tough.
because there's something to be said about sticking, because you haven't had that season like you said, and there's something to be said about some sustainability here.
I agree.
You look at some of the top teams that are left. I mean, you got Matt LaFleur, one of the longest tenured coaches now, Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, Sean McDermott, Andy Reid, who's been in Kansas City for 11 years now.
How many offensive coaches did you just label right there? They're all offensive.
They're all offensive. And then John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin.
I mean, that's
But
the
when
league
you
now.
look at those teams, they're successful every year. They're at least trying. They're almost in the playoffs, if not making a push for that championship game. And all of them are the longest tenured coaches. And I know that comes with winning, right? Like you don't just keep your job and you're losing. But you look at the Lions now, Dan Campbell. First year, I think they had 2 wins. Next year, they had 9. Now they're should have made the Super Bowl, probably. Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, if Rodgers comes out, plays fantastic, team looks great. You go out in free agency, you get your guys, come in, you look good, and you just run into a buzzsaw called Andy Reid and the Chiefs. And you lose that game, but it's a good, hard-fought battle, and you don't make the championship. Is that enough for you to say, all right, we got to fix this and this, but we run it back with our guys?
I mean, for fans, it's a different story. But if I'm in the shoes of Woody, it depends how you just said. Like, depends how our record is. If we win the division, end up in the AFC Championship game, lose to the Chiefs, blown out, or
but what if you lose them in the divisional?
Lose it. Like it seems like it matters, but like it doesn't. I feel like there has to be a playoff mandate, even if we lose. If it's like a blowout or a first round exit, I just feel like you gotta cut the cord with at least Salah.
Okay.
Like Nate Hackett would be the one that we think should be.
He should go first.
Yes. Yeah, he should be the next scapegoat. But I don't know. I
Who
really
would
don't
you
know.
want if he left?
Ben Johnson, 100%.
But he's not leaving Detroit.
Not this year, but the following,
Maybe.
he could be. Him, Bobby Slowick.
But you're willing to, yeah, I know.
Because, again, I think the league has changed so much when it comes to officiating and rules where it's now, we've talked about this again, like it's an offensive league now. Like, look at all these hits and these flags that all these defensive guys are getting that they're putting on the offensive weapons. Like, it's a different game. Like, defense, used to win championships. I don't know if it does anymore. Sometimes it does. The last time I saw a defense win championship games, Bucks versus the Chiefs, where Brady and the Bucks actually stopped Mahomes and the Chiefs, which was, 4 years ago now? It's different, man. It's different. Like, obviously, you want to have a good defense. Like, again, the Chiefs, what they have is, like, perfect. They just, if they had better personnel on offense, like another receiver, like.
But that's the thing. That's the thing about Mahomes.
That's the formula, dude.
That's the thing about Mahomes and Reed.
Yep.
Where they come out every year, and they went out there with guys like Tony and were winning games. That dude couldn't catch. He couldn't catch a cold. He couldn't catch COVID if he was in the hospital with 10 COVID patients.
Yep.
He wouldn't catch it. And sorry, he's not injured, not sick. That's on me.
I saw that.
But like they would still win. Like they finally, and if Hackett and Rodgers can find that chemistry, like you guys could be in great hands right now.
Yeah,
and that's where I want to get to now, because you already said your expectation is the championship, Super Bowl.
It's got to be.
But like, what do you have to add together? Because now we're looking at free agency. Sauce already said he wants T.
You got to get a receiver. You have it's so simple, and again, we've been preaching it for months. It's offensive line, receiver. Yep. Maybe another safety if you could find one in the draft.
I think the number one thing has got to be a tackle.
100%.
In the draft?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
Because if we take one in the draft, there's no guarantee that guy is going to take the dumpster fire that was our O-line last year and completely repair it. So I think you have to bring in at least one tackle.
Two.
At least one tackle in free agency, and then maybe draft
one in the draft. Agreed.
Or just bring in two in free agency and draft a receiver.
I think,
but two tackles need to be brought in. Two good O linemen need to be brought in.
Because I think right now where we're at is Joe Tippmann was a second rounder last year from Wisconsin, who I was high on and played phenomenal this year. He had a couple of like bad run blocks where he gets a swim move on him. Yeah, it's going to happen. But his pass blocking was efficient. Like, and they moved him around. Like Jenkins of the Packers, where he is a born center, played him at guard once AVT was gone, and he did great. He's going to be there, I think, for a long time. I think they nailed it on him. AVT is a Pro Bowler. He's elite, but he's hurt all the time. Like, this is his second time now where he's on the Mekhi Becton train, where he gets an injury, he's done for the year. So I have faith in him still. I think he's still that guy, and I still think he's elite. Remember you called that, by the way? When you're like, yo, they're going to trade up and draft AVT in the draft. Yeah. Genius, by the way, guys.
That would break my heart if he's one of those injury guys who just never gets it together.
Agreed.
He's one of the best O-linemen in the league.
Absolutely. He was like when Quentin Nelson first came into the league with the Colts and just was dominant. That's how AVT was, but nobody knew of him. Like, Joe Tippmann, AVT.
He's a true guard. That was his position in college, but they move him to tackle, and he's
Okay.
a legitimately good right tackle also.
Yeah.
He
Gotcha.
can play anywhere on the line.
We essentially
All right.
had to move everybody on the line because we were so
Just because of that.
we were so scarce in
Gotcha.
freaking all of our players. But I think this is how I think they should attack free agency and the draft. I think with the 9th pick, I think you have to, I believe, 100% take a tackle. I mean, you got two good tackles right there, the guy from Oregon and the guy from PSU. I think you take one, whoever you like better, and just roll with it. I think they have a better chance in free agency to attack a receiver like T. Higgins, like Calvin Ridley, like Mike Evans, maybe make a trade for Devontae. Like, I like Alan Lazard. I just don't. I think he would be better with Rodgers behind, like under center.
Yep.
I think Corey Davis retiring hurt us, and we just need a little bit more depth there. We can't be banking on guys like Xavier Gibson, who I like, Jason Brownlee, who we don't really know what he is. Like, they got to get someone solidified as a receiver in the draft as well. But I think free agency, you attack a receiver, you attack another tackle, maybe like a right tackle or a right guard, and then in the draft you're taking your left tackle. That I think that is the complete successful path and plan to helping the Jets offense. I don't want them going into the draft. I don't want them taking a defensive player until the freaking 6th or 7th round. They should not. They were the first ranked defense in PFF. They were the 32nd ranked offense in PFF. What else do you got to see, Joe Douglas? Like, it's simple. I think the formula is so simple. That's all they got to do. Quarterback, that's a different story.
Yep.
Because whatever, I know you guys have something to say. They're going to trade Zach Wilson away. I said this before. They're going to get rid of him. They're going to get maybe like a 3rd round pick for him, something like that. They got to bring somebody in. They have to bring someone in who's young and is going to back up Rodgers. That's really all I got to say.
Justin Fields or Sam Howell?
Yeah, dude, I would take any of those two guys in a heartbeat. No doubt.
And Sam Howell, I think, he's out of Washington, even though he just had one of the best years in Washington's recent history.
He makes a lot of sense to back up Rodgers.
Similar.
Because, exactly, Fields is more of a project. You would have to change the whole system for him. You could just bring Howell in and have him sit behind Rodgers and absorb his game.
Mm-hmm.
That's someone they trade for
less
now.
changes down the road, too.
That's someone that they got to trade for now, though, because I feel like his value is like all over the place. Like, a lot of people, like Washington, I think is going to value him high.
But
And
do you think Washington would be willing to trade him away before they get their coach
I don't know.
and all their staff in there?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
I think that would be very rash of them, especially with the new management in there.
Dude, I thought at the start
Sam
that
Darnold got traded like in the summer,
Yeah,
like before a little bit before the draft.
yeah, that would make more sense.
It's the same situation. New coaching staff comes in, they evaluate everything, make the decision.
just
Shout out
wanna
to Sam Darnold, by the way.
first quarterback in that draft class to make the Super Bowl, by the way.
A
Mhm.
$25 bet on him to win Super Bowl MVP.
You saw that?
$1,000,000.
NYJ
Really?
Matt? Yeah,
I'm doing
beat
it.
that.
I'm doing it. Brock Purdy
on
in
Instagram.
in the biggest moments. Brock Purdy, we've seen him go down with injuries. Shout out last year.
I will cash out
Philadelphia.
my bet immediately if that happened. If he went down and Sam Darnold came in, I'm cashing out my bet. I'm not. No way.
because that has to shoot up to at least $100 immediately.
No way. I'm
Immediately.
Yeah, it probably goes up $200. I cash
Oh,
out
wait,
right
which
away.
one are
I
you
root
talking
for the
about?
Niners? Huh?
Which one are you talking
My
about?
Kansas City bet.
Oh, I was talking about my Sam Darnold bet.
No, I'm cashing out right away.
I was saying
Sam Darnold
yeah.
will win them the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't care.
if they play Sam Darnold from the start, I guarantee a 30-point win.
God,
I agree.
what a guy!
Legend.
What a guy!
But
the
before-
first one in that class to
It's
make the
crazy.
Super Bowl.
31-point win with Brock Purdy. 30 was
Yeah, 30 with Sam, 31 with Brock. That 1 point, it's a huge difference. Brock is good enough to cover it. I don't know if Sam can cover that. But before we go, I just want to point out that you guys are plus 3,000 to win the Super Bowl next year, and you have actually elevated yourself into the top half of this, which is very good. So that's applause. Applause. Jets are back. Jets are back.
It's so frustrating because, like, I feel like now as Jets fans, we look at this team and we know we're good enough, like, to make it. Like 2 years ago, remember I was shitting on them. I'm like, oh, we're gonna go 4-12, and like we look damn good. And then this year it was the same thing. Like, yo, like we're winning games that we shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the personnel, like especially on defense, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, like we have these players in place. It's just the most important position in all of NFL. we don't have, and we will probably never have
You
ever
haven't since Mark Sanchez.
since Joe Namath, bro.
Yeah, Mark Sanchez gave you guys some good
He
years.
did, yes. But again, that was more of a defensive team. That was like an insane defense.
Still, someone's got to put points on the board.
That's all we need, man. Like we need that in a line. I think we can really, really make a name for ourselves. Like who knows how much time we have, especially with these young guys, Sauce, Garrett, Brees Hall. I mean, we're gonna have to let one of those guys go via trade, or just at some point we're gonna have to let them walk. Like
It happens. And you know what? They end up in New England and they do great, and you wish you didn't trade them. That's what's going to happen to you.
I think
I miss you, Zeke.
Who would you be scared of losing the most? Like, who's one player that you're like, if we lose him, it's going to hurt us?
Out of all the young guys right now,
Out of Garrett, Sauce, and Brees.
Sauce has got to be number one. He's one of the best players ever at his position. Garrett's an easy number two. Not far behind Sauce. I mean, you need to keep both of them.
They're 1A, 1B, 1C. They're so important to that team.
Brees, I love Brees, but we know how running backs go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if, I mean, depending on what happens with Sauce and Garrett, like they got to pay those guys first. I agree. And then running back position, you go from there. But they find a way to keep him too. Goddamn.
Yeah.
But
Well,
one last thing.
Go.
Bryce Huff, he needs to be resigned.
Yeah, that's the only big re-sign you need on the defensive side. They don't need much else.
Yeah,
Just
they're
pour all the other resources into the O-line.
there's not that many like contract like issues this
Yeah.
year, because a lot of people are signed and under contract, besides like maybe like a couple of bench players and whatnot. But like if there's like one important player that we need and like has an expiring contract, it's Bryce Huff.
Okay.
Went undrafted, DN number 47,
Oh, yeah.
beast in
Yeah.
pass pro
Mhm.
or like just pass rush. So we'll see what happens. But I just hope, Joe Douglas, if you're listening, attack offense throughout the whole offseason. That's all you have to worry about, bro. Please. And then from there we can win. I really think so.
Okay. Yeah. Let's end there.
End it there.
Let's not get too crazy.
All right, guys, real
All right.
quick. Sunday, we got a special one.
Yeah.
Well, we're recording it on Sunday, but
Might have hot ones.
yeah.
Might have hot ones.
It's gonna be
Will
fun.
have hot ones, but might have them.
Yeah. It's going to be fun,
It's gonna
but
be great.
keep liking, subscribing, following us. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.